Hello, my name is METİN Arıdaşır. This is third part of explanation of my physics theory. According to my theory and my formulas, light speed depends on its source's velocity. Absoluteness of simultaneity is valid at all moments and in all time of two realities in the same time, upon all the facts which concern with the light that the bridge between universal reality and subjective reality. Speed of light varies depends on its source's velocity. Therefore, absolute time built by this formula. Which formula? That I put forth. Yes, I will go on. This is one of my formulas. D equal C speed of light minus velocity, for instance, electron motion form, which is intrinsic immanent motion form of metasensation perception matter, and which is, when it is free, produces and propagates successive spherical waves through the eternity, and each its phases, wavelength phases, velocity is 300,000 kilometers per second, but for example, first linear velocity of this cycle, remember, 1,844 million kilometers per second. Yes. D equal C minus velocity of free electron motion form as a source. This is the source of light. This is the source of successive waves multiplied by cosine alpha. This is my formula. D represents relocating free electron motion forms successive wavelengths. Depends on relocating direction or another directions. This direction, just relocating direction, shows 0 degree. These shows 90 degrees. For instance, here 180 degrees, etc. Okay. Then, if this free electron motion form relocates this direction, okay, this is the wavelength position. Don't confuse, not Doppler shift. I will explain you. This is relocating direction. And at this point, just this point, cosine 0 is equal 1, and this side and the direction of relocating of electron motion form at this angle, that point of wave's velocity is just c minus velocity of electron motion. Okay? I want to mention something. This is free electron motion 4. Intrinsic motion 4. Inside of meta sensation perception matter, if it is not relocating and it's free without acceleration, without motion, according to my theory, through the eternity, in all direction, lambda, lambda, this direction, lambda, this direction, lambda, same wavelength. I say that lambda normal. Okay? Produce and propagate in all direction. And this space's velocity in all direction is same, c. Okay? This direction, lambda, lambda, lambda, same. Okay, same lambda and same velocity. C. Okay. C. While not relocating, while steady state, no relocating free electron motion forms, producing and propagating in all directions, same wavelength, normal, lambda normal, and each phase velocity is c, constant. But when this free electron motion form as a light source, as a successive wave source, relocating in the direction of relocating, remember, a kind of as if pressure, okay, not pressure, different concept. I will name that, okay, I will put the name of that, okay. In the direction of relocating, stronger intensity, stronger pressure, as if push that way, push, okay. And opposite to the relocating direction, there is no force as this. Enlarging lambda plus delta lambda in this direction, relocating direction, this is this lambda, lambda n minus delta lambda, okay? Like this. Narrower wavelength, larger wavelength. And here, different angles. This 0 degree direction in the direction of relocating of electron motion. Now, My another formula is lambda alpha equal lambda normal minus delta lambda multiplied by cosine alpha. What that mean? Remember, D equal C minus velocity of source electron cosine alpha. These are my important formulas that I put forth for the relocating free electron motion form which produce and propagate successive waves. Continuous wave source, free electron motion source at the same time. Now, free electron motion form, relocating free electron motion form, okay. Relocating 0 degree, 100 degree, okay. In this direction, just this point of wave, velocity is d equal c minus velocity e, okay? And just in this direction, wavelength is here, lambda n minus delta lambda, okay? Here. In this direction, 90 degree, okay. D equal C. D equal C. Because in 90 degree, cosine alpha cosine 90 degree equal 0. Okay. And opposite to that, D equal C plus V, and lambda alpha equal lambda n plus delta lambda. Okay? Don't forget this. Please don't forget this. That's important. I tried to tell my ideas to you. I go. Speed of light varies depends on its source velocity. Therefore, absolute time built by this d equals c minus VE cosine alpha formula, which I put forth between universal reality and subjective reality. Galilean or Lorentzian transforms are not valid for meta-sensation perception matter and its intrinsic cyclical motion forms and their successive waves. Remember, what's Galilean or Lorentzian transforms? Firstly, in our subjective realities, if while this thing going on and on that thing another thing going on in same direction, we at this blue thing's velocity plus this velocity. Adding rule. This is adding rule. Yes. This is the thing which is relocating this direction. And at VA. Okay. And in our subjective reality. And on that thing, another B thing is going at V velocity. In subjective reality, in our subjective reality, we add the, if you find this VB, okay, relatively to us, this is Galilean principle, which is Lorentzian principle built on this Galilean principle. Same foundation. Okay. According to respect to us, this VB artı plus VA equal, say V. Out of V, our V, for our V. Okay, this is adding rule. Galilean principle relates this rule. Adding of velocities rule. Okay, but in meta sensation perception matter, this is the source, light source, and relocating with a certain velocity, and its waves cannot be added in same direction, must be subtracted in this direction. Subtract minus opposite to subjective reality. Yes, this is fault for universal reality. In relocating direction, C minus V, opposite direction, C plus V. And I will go on now, shortly. Galilean or Lorentzian transforms are not valid for meta-sensation perception matter and its intrinsic cyclical motion forms and their successive waves. D equal C minus velocity of source cosine alpha. This formula, D equal C minus V cosinus cosine alpha, my formula, wave formula, which source and its wave in same direction and vice versa, is the reason of absolute simultaneity at our subjective reality and at universal reality for each one and for together at the same time. So, the light is the bridge between universal reality and subjective reality. This is one of the main reasons that I say the light is the bridge of the two realities. Because of this, in the context of meta sensation, perception, matter, and in the context of our subjective reality, if there is a light source, real light source, all light source, intrinsic motion forms inside of meta-sensational perceptual matter, then, for instance, this electron motion form, whether it is relocating or it is not relocating, it's not important. Okay, I am here, A, you are there, B, okay, and here, this is not relocating electron motion form, okay, and you are B on there, and A, I am here, same scales. This is relocating electron motion form. When two of us at the same time, look at that in here, okay, when these two electron motion forms coincide, that point, equal distances, okay? This is not relocating electron motion form, just that time when they coincide, this electron motion form start to relocating, okay? Just that time. When we look at two sides from to there, when we look, this side starts to relocate, but it's not relocating. Here, spaces, between spaces, C, velocity, successive waves velocity is C, okay? But while this electron motion form relocating in the direction of B, its wavelength velocity dropped C minus V, and these eyes see the light from two electrons in the same time. Then here, same velocity C, but while relocating opposite direction, you think light will come later? No, same time, because of enlarging. Because of enlarging, lambda, alpha enlarges here, equal lambda n minus delta, lambda cosine alpha, okay? eyes sense same velocity in the same time. Okay? I try to tell. And I will. And if Galilean transformation was valid in meta-sensation, perception, matter, or universal reality, there couldn't be simultaneously actualized facts which concern with the light in subjective reality. If you apply the Galilean transformation on your source velocity-independent light idea as Lorentz transformation, you can only wrap your subjective reality on your mind. Our senses and perceptions are not limited by volumes of our bodies. Our body's electron motion forms and, for instance, successive waves from the sun as heat waves, or while the free electron motion form relocates as light source, wavelength and velocity of its successive waves varies depending on its velocity, relocating direction and orientation. Its cyclical motion frequency remains unchanged. I beg your pardon. I must repeat my writings. I beg your pardon. Our senses and perceptions are not limited by volumes of our bodies. Our body's electron motion forms and, for instance, successive waves from the sun as heat waves or visible waves build the subjective reality together, which shared by all of our bodies, say, all of us. You cannot separate the living experiences from outside of your bodies. All living experiences and all subjective reality are interaction of inside and outside of you. There is no limit as outside or inside of each of our bodies, and wholly, this limitless thing is meta-sensation perception matter. Meta-sensation perception matter has no vacuum and density itself. Therefore, meta-sensation perception matter cannot vaporize and cannot condense, cannot expand or cannot shrink or cannot warp or cannot curve, etc. itself, and cannot be diluted by any facts, and meta-sensation perception matter doesn't change itself by the time. Its motion forms may change, its motion forms densities may change, but as an unique and unseen quality itself in itself volume and its itself intrinsic motion forms and itself volume cannot be changed by time or by anything, never ever. Its intrinsic motion forms may move away from each other, but this doesn't mean the volume between these motion forms expands. We absolutely share our time and location in the two reality at any and same moment in the same time. If we are at somewhere and at a moment in our subjective reality, we are insane, where and at same moment in universal reality, which is meta-sensation perception matter. Successive waves velocity varies, depends on free electron motion forms relocating velocity, relocating direction and orientation, which the electron motion form is their source. Lambda alpha equal lambda n minus lambda alpha equal to lambda n minus delta lambda cosine alpha is another formula which determines all continuous spectrums of light. Remember, continuous spectrum. What is that? What was that? According to my theory, free electron motion form is the source of continuous spectrums also. In meta-sensation, perception matter as intrinsic immanent form, free electron motion form, which produce and propagate successive waves to eternity. But when the continuous spectrum born, because of, if free electron motion form is not relocating in all direction wavelengths, lambda normal, lambda normal, lambda normal, same. In that case, there is no continuous wave because of, like, remember X-rays, intensity, wavelength, okay, you know, this is continuous spectrum, wavelength change, but how? If, if, no, okay, this is relocating free electron motion form, which is producing and propagating successive waves. Okay, in this direction, lambda and minus delta lambda. In this direction, this is 0. Okay, this is 90 degree, this is 30 degree, lambda n minus delta lambda cosine 30 degree. In this direction, lambda n minus delta lambda cosine 120